You know the economy is going to shit when Autopay is just straight up stealing the last little dollars, cents that you have in your bank account for a bill. You know, the Autopay in of itself, in my opinion, is a privilege. Because excuse me. Autopay in of itself is a privilege in my opinion, because that means that you have sufficient income coming in on a regular, consistent basis, and you're able to build a savings and have security. You're secure with your financial situation, that you're not going to be surprised when that Autopay takes that money out of your account, when they make that withdrawal for whatever bill that Autopay is set to pay. A lot of people don't have that privilege because a lot of people in the USA are living check to check. And this is another reason why it's election season and people have various reasons for feeling the way they feel about election season. Number one, you literally have a federal government, right, gaslighting everybody about how great the economy is. No offense, but full offense. President Biden, you need to get with the programs and get with reality, okay? Because the economy is not doing well for everyday people on Main Street, and it hasn't for quite some time. And we're not just talking about last year, 2022, 2021, 2020. If we're arguably, the USA economy has been trashed the entire new millennium. Yeah. The entire 24 years since 2000, it's pretty much been going down the drain. We haven't seen people have opportunities to earn a decent living and have really good buying power since the 90s, arguably. And if we're really going to go there, baby boomers and a little bit of the early Gen Xers are the only people, population-wise or generational-wise, that have seen a decent economy where their dollar had really good buying power. Those are the only two generations. And notice I said some of the baby boomers and like a very small amount of the early Gen Xers, right? They are the only ones that got a taste. Millennials, Gen Z, and unfortunately, Gen Alpha, we didn't get that. Nope. We didn't get any of that. We literally were born in the 90s. Well, for me, I'm a millennial. 1992 here, okay? We were born in the early, 90s, 1981 to 1995, 96 is the millennial age group. Okay, and then Gen Z starts around 96, right? 96, 97, right? So a lot of us, we were children when everything was going really well in the 90s with the stock market. And mind you, typically when the stock market is doing well, everyday people on Main Street do not benefit from that. I'm just going to be honest. Where in the 90s, that was a completely different situation. Like literally, you had people who were middle class benefiting from the stock market, and your wages reflected the cost of living. And the US American dollar actually had value, where fast forward to millennials and Gen Z, I got my first job 2009, July 2009. I was 16 years old. So by the time I started working, we were still in the recession. Like 2009, you know what I'm saying? We were still in the recession. I got my first job at my aunt's daycare center at 16. And then like after that, my second job was, I started that in like October, November of 2010. I started working at GameStop, still $7.40 an hour. Then I got a job in February of 2011. I'm still 18 at the bowling alley as a server. And there, it wasn't even $7.40 an hour because you're a waiter, you're a server, you get tips. So I was paid $5.15 an hour, which was still more than what they typically were paying servers and waiters. Plus, we got our tips. Okay? So yeah, that's what I did, while going to school full time, and then my next job after that, I had an internship working for Speedway in the human resources. And that was $10 an hour. And this is what's so crazy. This was 2021 or 2013, right? So I moved up to working in the human resource department as an internship. And I was making $10 an hour, plus we were paid every single week. And at that time, I still didn't have like hardcore serious bills and responsibilities. So I was 20 years old, almost 21, and I was making $10 an hour. So I was taking home anywhere between $320 to $340 every week, and I didn't have any real serious bills or responsibilities. So I thought that was a lot of money back then. You know what I mean? Like, I really thought I was balling. Like, looking back, I'm fucking cracking up. But shit, when I was in high school getting $200 or so every 2 weeks, I thought I was balling as well. I mean, I was able to buy the clothes that I wanted and go and do things that I wanted to do and purchase gifts and things and take care of the little bills that I had because I didn't have really any real bills. But you get where I'm going with this. So I did that. And then I ended up being a custodian because, after the internship was over, it is what it is. I ended up being a custodian at the University of Michigan Flint Extension Campus. Go Blue. And I did that, and it was back to $7.40. Then after that, mind you, by 2013, I had already had 2 associate's degrees, okay? Because I graduated in 2012 with 2 associate's degrees at 19 years old. Yeah. And so then 2014, I graduated with my bachelor's degree, and I was 21. When I look back at my trajectory with jobs and school, I did what I was supposed to do. And this is what a lot of millennials and Gen Zers are talking about. We literally followed the directions. We followed the instructions. We went the extra mile. We did what we were supposed to do. And for a lot of us, it did not turn into a good return on investment. I'm just going to keep it real. That's where a lot of the anger, the animosity, and the resentment and the bitterness comes from, is you literally have been lying to entire generations, and then you're surprised that people are angry. Like, where's the money that you said I was going to be making? Like, where is it? Right? And not to mention the buying power of the dollar is weak and pathetic, right? Like, my gosh. The $100 bill is the new $50 bill. Okay? $50 is the new $20 bill, essentially, at this point. You basically have to double what you were making. And it's insane to me. Because it's like, it shouldn't have to be this way. But anyways, so moving ahead. So then you've got that going. And then another aspect of this, right? So then I was at the custodian, $7.40 an hour. Then I got into Myers, worked there, third shift stock. I got boosted to $8.15. Then it ended up being $8.65 because I was third shift. And then boom, I landed a nonprofit position part-time. And that was what, $1,000 every 2 weeks, or was it $500 every 2 weeks? I think it was $500 every 2 weeks, which this is 2014. So now by the time I got that job, I was 22 years old. So I did that job, and then I got another nonprofit part-time job, as well. So then that was giving me a $1,000 stipend each month to do that. So at that time, I was pretty much getting $2,000 a month. And this is 2015 now, right? So to me, I was doing pretty darn well, paying my bills, But it was still like, okay, you have a bachelor's degree now. Like, shouldn't you be making a little more than this? Okay, because again, we were told that going to college was going to lead to what? A career.